Good morning, everybody. And I'm very late today, so apologies for that. Did you have a fabulous weekend? And are you able to really enjoy any in-between moments in your life? And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Last week, I had the absolute pleasure of connecting with a new, I was going to say friend. She's not a friend yet, in the true sense of the word, and yet I feel that we did connect quite deeply. A wonderful woman who I've met on an online course, who actually lives in Norway. Lena Hornland is her name, and she is doing some beautiful work encouraging her clients to embrace more stillness and quietness in their lives. And we talked about the in-between, and it set me on a spiral of thinking, okay, I really like that concept of the in-between. You know, it's often used in a very negative, derogatory way. You know, I'm in between jobs. There's a kind of there's a state of suspense. You know, that I'm waiting for something. That I'm, you know, in a state of vigilance, really, and yet it is often the in between moments in our lives that bring us the real treasure, that bring us deep joy. You know, even when we think about nature, those liminal moments where something is neither one thing or the other. You know, when you think about dawn and dusk, or the times between defined seasons or lunar cycles, even those moments in our lives when we are undergoing many changes, whether that's hormonal or life or, you know, whatever it is, all of those things, you know, is it a coincidence that actually those times in our lives when we experience possibly the most growth, the most number of changes, and the most experimental experiences are those liminal stages in our 3D lives, if you like. So adolescence, menopause, they're all times where we're in between. We're neither one thing or another. And I think that many of us could benefit hugely from shifting our focus from the, oh, I have to be one thing or I have to be another, to, okay, actually the real joy and pleasure and treasure is in the in-between bits. Those are the bits when we tend to stop, when we tend to allow ourselves or gift ourselves the beauty and joy of using all our senses to really experience ourselves first and foremost, but also everything else that's out there. You know, the times when we can actually just stop and be rather than need to do. Those are the rich moments in our lives, those in-between moments where we're not rushing to do anything or go anywhere or change anything. We're just there. And I'm beginning to think that that is what life is, and that we've been encouraged to constantly think that we need to be one thing or another, when really the focus is much more rewarding when we're just in between, We're in the liminal. We're neither one thing or another. And it's led me down lots of different rabbit holes. I'm thinking about also water at the moment. Saw a fabulous podcast with Pam Gregory and Veda Austin. If you don't know them, please follow them. They're both amazing, amazing women. And talking about the water and how hopelessly misunderstood and understood it is, and how vital it is in switching on our communication, both from at a cellular level, from cell to cell. It's a conductor for those electrical messages and frequencies that are needed in order for cells to communicate with each other, organs to communicate with each other, us to communicate with each other, and also with the whole of the rest of the world. And if we don't have water and the communication that carries in its completely liminal state, that it's neither one thing or the other. It can be solid, it can be liquid, it can be a state that is in between, and that's often the most information-filled, rich source for us, and we're just beginning to scratch the surface of all that means. So much we don't know, and so much that we're uncovering at a very fast rate. So that's, I suppose, I'm not going to try and wrap this up in a neat bow today or draw any conclusions. So it's just, okay, today is my Monday musing rather than my Monday message, if you like. Just to actually be okay with the in-between. Be more than okay, actually celebrate it, and to celebrate its richness and all the information that we can take in that is illuminating and brightens us and adds to us in every way. It's not the rushing around. It's the in-between bits. It's the liminal bits. Even sitting in a waiting room, which is a metaphor, really. None of us seem to like sitting in waiting rooms, waiting. What if those are the bits that actually can give us so much richness? Being in life's waiting rooms, just drinking in all those in-between moments. Anyway, that's it. That's my musings for today. I'd love to know what you think, whether you think I have completely lost it or whether you too enjoy those in-between moments. Let me know. Just give me a heart. You don't even have to say anything. Just let me know that you're on the same page as me. Okay. Thanks very much for watching and for listening. Have a beautiful, beautiful time this week, filled with in-between moments.